It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, definitely so. One of the biggest mistakes I think that most of us make when it comes to giving back is not having a strategy when we want to do a charitable contribution. So how do we really learn to give back effectively? Joining us this morning in our studio to help us and to give us some tips on how we can give back effectively when we do charity, Caroline Power from the WareHouse, an organization that works with our local churches in our community to help them implement sound, effective, practical acts of transformation in our communities. Welcome to the show, Caroline.
Hi, Lana. Thanks for having me.
It's great having you here. Let's get into it. I mean, we're all starting to give now. It's 67 minutes of Mandela or Madiba Day, like we call it. Most of us give all the time, but we do need a strategy. When it comes to giving, we all have generous hearts and we do want to give. But what's the biggest mistakes that people often make when trying to give to organizations?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. South Africans are incredibly generous and giving people. And I think what the problem can be is if you think about what it is that you want to give and if you decide ahead of time what it is that somebody needs. So a good example is that I once heard of a group of people that went to visit an orphan care home, and they were very upset by the fact that the helpers there had to hand wash all the clothing. So they bought a whole lot of brand new washing machines for the orphan care home, and a year later they were really upset to see that the washing machines were being used as cupboards.
Oh dear.
And what happened was that there was no budget for the electricity to run the washing machines. And so it's just a very good example of how find out who the people are that you're helping, and really don't just decide what it is that they need, but work that out with them.
I like how you say find out what's needed first before we try and give, because, you know, sometimes you just want to give. You don't actually know what people need. Charity work, I mean, what's the right way to give?
Well, listen to the world around you. Listen to the people that you know who are in need. So ask questions. Find out who the organizations are that you could help, and then ask them what it is that they need. Find out what they do, what their specific needs are, and then also look at what it is that you have, how much time you have that you might want to donate, what your skills are, what your talents, the material goods that you might, the money that you want to give. Decide what that is that you can offer, but also really listen well to the people that you're giving to.
I'm glad you're saying, listen well to everyone. It's that time of the year, we're cleaning out our closets. I did it yesterday, and I decided not to donate to an organization because all of the stuff was summer clothing, and it's winter. We need winter stuff. Yeah. What do we need to keep in mind? I mean, what is important to remember when trying to clean out our closets like we are at the moment?
No, that's an excellent question. I think we thank you very much for not giving summery stuff, because organizations often have nowhere to store them, and so they just get moldy over the winter. So keep your summer stuff back, put them in a nice warm place, and then wash them at the beginning of summer and give it out. And then make sure that when you're giving your winter goods, that they're well aired, that they're washed. People who have pets, make sure they have no pet hair on them. When you give clothing, make sure that it's washed, ironed, folded, put in boxes or clear bags, never in black bags. Always give things that when somebody receives it, they'll feel like they've been blessed with something from someone who wants to show them that they're loved.
I'm glad you said that. I once went to an organization where they were just piles of... They had to get people in, volunteers in, to actually pack the stuff, which was also exciting, I guess, but it's more work for them. Should one look at personal traits or even skill set when you think of things like choosing volunteer work, or if you want to do something for a relevant organization? Do you go around and you say, okay, I need to match myself now?
You definitely, it's good to do that. It's great to know what you're good at and to offer people, to be very upfront with what you can offer, what you aren't willing to do. But also if you arrive at a place and you want to offer a particular skill, but they need something else, they just need you to answer the telephones or to sweep the floors, then be willing to do that, because it's service after all.
I like that. It is service, so it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're helping in some way. Caroline, thank you very much for being here this morning. Caroline helping us with, or giving us some tips rather on how to do this. We will certainly keep those tips in mind, especially now when we decide to give. Remember to give for 67 minutes of your time this week in aid of Mandela Day this Saturday. Mandela Day aims to inspire people to take action, take charge of the world and make things better in doing so, and also help build a global movement for good together. Well, if you want to know more about Caroline and her organization, you need to go to warehouse.org.za. That's warehouse.org.za.